Hello everyone, today we will learn about the Industrial Revolution in Britain. Let's learn through PYQs. The question is, which one of the following statements about the Industrial Revolution in Europe is not correct? Option A, Britain was the first country to experience the Industrial Revolution. Option B, England was fortunate as coal and iron resources were plentifully available, as were other minerals, lead, copper and tin that were used in industry. Option C, from the 1780s, the iron industry symbolized the British Industrial Revolution. Option D, in England, the movement of goods between markets was helped by a good network of rivers and an indented coastline. Right answer is option C. This was not the iron industry, it was cotton industry. Asking not correct, okay? Let's see, the transformation of industry and the economy in Britain between the 1780s and the 1850s is called the First Industrial Revolution. This had far-reaching effects in Britain. Later, similar changes occurred in European countries and in the USA. These were to have a major impact on the society and economy of those countries and also on the rest of the world. This phase of industrial development in Britain is strongly associated with new machinery and technologies. These made it possible to produce goods on a massive scale compared to handicraft and handloom industries. England was fortunate in that coal and iron ore, the staple materials for mechanization, were plentifully available, as were other minerals, lead, copper and tin, that were used in industry. However, until the 18th century, there was a scarcity of usable iron. From the 1780s, the cotton industry symbolized British industrialization in many ways. This industry had two features which were also seen in other industries. Raw cotton had to be entirely imported, and a large part of the finished cloth was exported. This sustained the process of colonization so that Britain could retain control over the sources of raw cotton as well as the markets. In England, the movement of goods between markets was helped by a good network of rivers, and an indented coastline was sheltered base. Let's solve this question. Consider the following statements concerning the initial phase of the Industrial Revolution in England. England was fortunate in that coal and iron ore were plentifully available to be used in industry. Until the 18th century, there was a scarcity of usable iron. Asking correct. So both are correct. Option C. Action CDS paper 1 2014. This paragraph, as you can see here. Okay, let's solve another question. The term industrial revolution was first used by option A, J.A. Blanqui, option B, T.S. Ashton, option C, Arnold Toynbee, option D, R.S. Stoney. Right answer is J.A. Blanqui. The term industrial revolution was coined by French economist Jerome Adolphe Blanqui in 1837, but the credit for the general currency it has been enjoying for more than a century must go to Arnold Toynbee. The term Industrial Revolution was also used by European scholars Jules Michelet in France and Friedrich Engels in Germany. Let's see this question. Who among the following first used the term Industrial Revolution in English to describe the changes that occurred in British industrial development between 1760 and 1820? Option A, Karl Marx. Option B, George Michelet. Option C, Arnold Toynbee. Option D, Friedrich Engels. Right answer is option C, Arnold Toynbee. It was used for the first time in English by the philosopher and economist Arnold Toynbee to describe the changes that occurred in British industrial development between 1760 and 1820. These dates coincided with those of the reign of the George III, on which Toynbee was giving a series of lectures at Oxford University. His lectures were published in 1884 after his untimely death as a book called Lectures on the Industrial Revolution in England, Popular Addresses, Notes and Other Fragments. Later historians T.S. Ashton, Paul Montu and Eric Hobsbawm broadly agreed with Toynbee. There was remarkable economic growth from the 1780s to 1820 in the cotton and iron industries, in coal mining, in building of roads and canals, and in foreign trade. Ashton celebrated the Industrial Revolution when England was swept by a wave of gadgets. Let's see this question. Due to which of the following factors the Industrial Revolution took place in England in the 18th century? The discovery of coal and iron deposits, the discovery of steam power, the introduction of railways, the regular supply of raw materials. All are correct. Option D is right answer. Let's see this question. Which among the following were among the factors for England to experience the Industrial Revolution first? These scientific inventions had paved the way for Industrial Revolution, correct? It had favorable social and political structure in place. Navigable rivers had made inland transport easier. It had seen the ascendancy of capitalist practices. Okay, so all are correct. Option D is right answer. Let's see this question. Which one of the following factors was not a reason behind the occurrence of the Industrial Revolution in England first? So not. not a region. Okay, remember this. Option A, no part of the country was far from the sea. Option B, navigable rivers made inland transport easier. Option C, in England, machines could be operated by wind or water power due to favorable climate condition. Option D, England had coal, iron, and other necessary mineral resources. So option C is right. It was steam power. Factors responsible for the Industrial Revolution in England. Discovery of coal and iron deposits, discovery or use of steam power. Steam power provided pressure at high temperatures that enabled the use of broad range of machinery. This meant that steam power was the only source of energy that was reliable and inexpensive enough to manufacture machinery itself. Introduction of railways, regular supply of raw materials. England had coal, iron, and other necessary mineral resources. The scientific inventions had paved the way for industrial revolution. It had favorable social and political structures in place. Navigable rivers had made inland transport easier. No part of the country was far from the sea. It had seen the ascendancy of capitalist practices. Let's see this question. Consider the following statements regarding the Industrial Revolution in Britain. There was availability of banks which could loan money to set up industries. There was good transport network. This was asked in NDA paper 1 2026. So right answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Let's see, the center of the country's financial system was the Bank of England, founded in 1694. By the 1784, there were more than 100 provincial banks in England, and during the next 10 years, their numbers trebled. By the 1820s, there were more than 600 banks in the provinces and over 100 banks in London alone. The financial requirements to establish and maintain big industrial enterprises were met by these banks. The industrialization that occurred in Britain from the 1780s to the 1850s is explained partly by the factors described above. Many poor people from the villages available to work in towns, banks which could loan money to set up large industries, and a good transport network. Until the spread of railways, transport by waterways was cheaper and faster than by land. As early as 1724, English rivers provided some 1,160 miles of navigable water, and except for mountainous areas, most places in the country were within 15 miles of a river. Since all the navigable sections of English rivers flow into the sea, cargo on rivers vessels was easily transferred to coastal ships called coasters. By 1800, at least 1 lakh sailors worked on the coasters. Let's see this question. Which among the following is the impact of Industrial Revolution in England? Cottage industry was replaced by the factory system of production using machines. It led to overpopulation of villages. It led to the emergence of working class movement. Asking correct, okay, correct ones. So 1 correct, 3 correct. This is not overpopulation of towns, not villages. Okay, so option B is right answer, 1 and 3. From the 18th century, many towns in Europe were growing in area and in population. Out of the 19 European cities whose population doubled between 1750 and 1800, 11 were in Britain. The largest of them was London, which served as the hub of the country's markets, with the next largest ones located close to it. London had also acquired a global significance. By the 18th century, the center of the global trade had shifted from the Mediterranean ports of Italy and France to the Atlantic ports of Holland and Britain. From the 1850s, the proportion of people living in urban areas went up dramatically, and most of these were workers in industry, the working class. Only 20% of Britain's workforce now lived in rural areas. Cottage industry was replaced by the factory system of production using machines. Let's see this question. During the mid-19th century industrial revolution, the average lifespan of workers in Manchester was option A 17 years, option B 30 years, option C 55 years, option D 62 years. So right answer is option A 17 years. A survey in 1842 revealed that the average lifespan of workers was lower than that of any other social group in cities. It was 15 years in Birmingham, 17 in Manchester, and 21 in Derby. More people died and died at a younger age in the new industrial cities than in the villages they had come from. Half the children failed to survive beyond the age of 5. The increase in the population of cities was because of immigrants rather than by an increase in the number of children born to families who already lived there. So we have solved some important questions regarding the Industrial Revolution in Britain. Thanks for watching. Have a good time ahead.